Hello. So you saw what we did with the first technique. So now we're going on to the second technique that you can use. And as you can see, remember the pins we put in. This is how I know I'm working with the top portion of my valance. Okay, so this is a different color valance, one of my other colors, but this is still the top portion that we're still working on. So this technique I'm going to show you, which is a little easier only because it allows you to skip that step where we had to first fold it over 1/4 of an inch. All we're going to do this time is we're still going to take roughly about 1/4 of an inch of your fabric. You're going to fold it over just a little bit. See that little bit? See here, we're just folding it over, and then all we're going to do is we're going to run a straight stitch all the way across. So let me see if I could do that, and I'll get back to you. Hold on one second. Okay guys, so what I did was I got the fabric ready and I put it in the machine. I hope you can see it. And what I did is I folded it over, and again I'm going to sew it all the way to the end. Here we go. You may have to use your finger to keep tucking it over because the fabric wants to go straight or stay straight. So just use your finger as a guide to keep the fabric folded over. Again, about 1/4 of an inch, no more than 1/4 of an inch, because remember we still have to fold this over another 1/4 of an inch in order to give us the final finished edge. So just keep sewing and keep using your finger to tuck the fabric over as you go. You can estimate now because you know what 1/4 of an inch looks like versus 1/2 inch. And we're not ironing it because this is, to me, the easiest and faster way to do it. So just keep sewing until you get to the end. Don't worry so much about if this line is completely straight or not, because we're going to fold this over at some point anyway. I mean, of course you want it to be as straight as possible, but don't panic if you're going off course a little bit. You see how I'm using my finger to tuck it, and then I'm using my left hand over here to just move the fabric through the sewing machine. We're almost there, guys. Okay, we're at the end, and we just gotta tuck that last piece under and make it keep going. Okay, so now if you look at this edge, remember before we sewed it, we ironed it down to make it look nice. Now see the raw edge, but now you see inside we have it stitched. We stitched it nicely into place for us. Okay, so now I'll show you what our next step is with this, guys. Hold on. Okay guys, so now we're going to take that same piece of fabric that we just finished the first raw edge by turning it up 1/4 of an inch, and now we're just going to take our last 1/4 of an inch and we are going to iron it like we did the other one. We're going to iron that 1/4 of an inch over to put it in place. So here we go. Now we're just ironing it down. We can actually use this as a guide to iron it down. Okay, so we just gonna iron it. And again, remember what I told you, whatever you do, if this is the technique that you will use for this valance, make sure you do this for all 4 of your valances. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just ironing it to make this edge look completely finished. Okay, and it's just following this the line that we just did using a straight stitch on the sewing machine. This one just makes it easier to me because you're just using the fabric as your guide to turn it over. So now you can see, look how nice that looks. See the edges, see that, and then look at that. See, this is the edge of the fabric, and look how nicely it's finished. Now we're just gonna sew that in place. Please take the time to visit my website, Busta Wraps, BUSTAWRAPPS, BustaWraps.com. Bye bye.